48-hour fast could potentially be the worst thing you could do if you've got autoimmune problems and you've got a gut that just isn't functioning very well. This mouse study found that when the mice went through a 48-hour starvation period, their Paneth cells, which are special cells that sit in the crypts within the gut, actually stopped working properly. Their super important job is to keep bacteria within your gut in check, and they do this by releasing antimicrobial peptides that can actually pick out harmful bacteria and keep their numbers under control. 48-hour starvation lowered the genes and proteins that Paneth cells use to fight bacteria. You can see in the starvation model there's less lysozyme being produced, which is one of the very important antimicrobial peptides that are secreted to deal with bacteria and to actually replenish the Paneth cells. The starved mice also saw an increase in gut leakiness, as you can see here by the increased gaps between the tight junctions in the gut. And what you'd expect because of this, and they actually found this, was an increase in bacterial translocation, which basically means there was an increase in the ability of bacteria to move through this damaged gut lining and get into places that we don't want them to get to. So if you've got autoimmune problems, I absolutely wouldn't be going to these long duration fasts if you don't actually know what's going on under the surface. What about shorter fasts, so 16 to 24 hours? These have actually been shown to potentially boost intestinal stem cells in other studies, so perhaps there are benefits to Paneth cells here, but not certain, and it's not really a go-to that I go with when I'm working with clients with autoimmune problems like ankylosing spondylitis or Crohn's. What I tend to find with a lot of people, and honestly more with women and girls, is that they tend to have been through some sort of starvation or caloric restriction, and this is the same for guys as well. And the last thing I want to be doing is putting more caloric restriction or starvation through their systems. And actually, we just need to look at what's going to nourish the gut and what's going to actually improve the function of the stem cells, what's actually going to help regenerate Paneth cells, because these have likely been struggling or been shown in bloods to struggle. If you want to know exactly what diets I'd follow or what supplements I'd use, check out my blueprint that I use for ankylosing spondylitis, but it does apply to many autoimmune issues that need gut repair or need to be looking at Paneth cell recovery or intestinal stem cell recovery. This is exactly what I'd go to.